Golf Central on YouTube. Brought to you by the Chrome Soft Golf Ball from Callaway.
And hello again and welcome. I'm Rich Lerner. They're playing the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. And you think it's December golf is going to be easy, but it was anything but. I mean, it looked like Carnoustie with better views and bigger boats. Gusts of up to 30 miles per hour. Viktor Hovland is leading, defending champion, 5 under par. The leading score at the midway point a year ago was 11 under. Again, they're playing lift, clean, and place because it's soft. Typically, they're shooting 14, 15 under. Gives you an idea of just how challenging it was. Viktor Hovland after his round with Todd Lewis.
Victor, it's interesting. You and I were talking earlier in the week, and you didn't seem as optimistic about your game. But here you are in contention, ready to go into the weekend to win this tournament again. What is the difference between when we talked earlier in the week to now?
Yeah, I don't feel like there's that big of a difference, to be honest. It's just kind of when you know you don't have certain shots, I guess you kind of just focus more on playing the actual game and not trying to do stupid things. And so far, I've done a good job of that. I've actually given myself a lot of looks and hit a lot of good iron shots, even though they haven't felt all that great. I just haven't really putted all that great the first 2 rounds. So
tell me how your swing feels as you're going around this golf course.
Yeah, not very good, but
really? Does that give you some satisfaction that maybe you don't have your A game, but you're still playing well?
Yeah, no, I've kind of taken that with me for a few tournaments this year. I feel like I've been in contention without really having my stuff. So I think that I kind of have to remind myself that, okay, I don't feel the best with my game going into a certain week, but just kind of pumping myself up and saying, hey, I still got a chance to compete if I just compete and be tough.
Finally, does it help as you don't have maybe your best stuff right now that you're on a golf course where you won? Does that give you comfort?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you still got to hit the shots, but it's nice to just see what I've done in the past, and that's obviously worked for me here last year. So you get to kind of rely on some of the experiences that you had last year, but at the same time, if you're not hitting the shots, you're not hitting the shots. So at the end of the day, you still got to play golf.
Well done. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Victor.
Yeah, thanks.
Man from Norway likes sort of tropical golf. Won in Puerto Rico, twice at Mayakoba in Mexico, won here a year ago. Morikawa, a little shaky middle of the round, missed a couple of short putts. Understandable with the winds whipping the way they were, but he righted the ship. Scheffler with a chance to retake number 1 from Rory McIlroy, who's not playing this week. Good move today, Xander Schauffele. You see Cameron Young, the reigning rookie of the year, and Tom Kim backed off just a tad. Justin Thomas was excellent today, bogey-free, and he's dangerous going to the weekend. Let's hear now from some of the front runners.
Yeah, I'm definitely not showing up to finish 20th or whatever it is. Yeah, but I've been practicing. I like to practice. I took a nice break before we went to South Carolina. I was pretty worn out after the FedEx Cup and then the President's Cup, and so there was a period there for a good 5-6 weeks where I wasn't practicing too much. I still go out and play for fun and stuff, but not too much heavy practice. But the last probably month or two, I've been getting after it fairly decent.
I don't want to bring it up too early, but you could be number 1 with a win. I mean, in your head at all, does it really matter? 1, 2 at this point?
Yeah, I mean, number 1's obviously a place I'd like to get back to, but if we're not going to be playing golf for a while, who knows what the world ranking is going to do? And right now it seems to be a bit of a flawed system, so we'll see what happens there. But it's definitely something nice to go back to, but I'm not going to be thinking about it when I'm on the golf course.
Ball in hand's obviously a very nice thing we enjoy. This is probably the hardest property to chip on for the most part. I guarantee everyone in the field would admit that if we didn't have ball in hand, it'd make things very difficult. So, especially with the wind and being able to spin it and place it on neutral grain versus into the grain and muddy stuff, it makes it very nice for us. But if it dries up and we go back to chipping just off of where the ball lies, it'd make it very tricky.
And how do you feel back-wise? How'd you do today compared with yesterday?
Great, yeah. Everything's getting better every day.
Kind of Doug's question about you didn't play a lot of golf in the fall. Is this kind of a snapshot of what maybe you'll probably do next year, given how the schedule is going to change? I mean, how much did you enjoy the time off, and do you imagine that's what you'll do going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert on sort of how to transform your body or anything like that, but they say if you really want to make some gains, I guess it takes realistically, if you're doing it, eight weeks to do something, to make some progress or make some grounds, and golfing and doing that for, practicing and trying to swing and do everything else along the way is really difficult. So it has been nice to sort of have some time off.
I think today was probably harder. It did play so long yesterday, though. That there's something to be said for that. But I don't know, I think it's definitely hard. When you get this much wind, it's just very hard.
What are you pleased with today? What part of your game impressed you?
Really, I was pretty happy with most of it. I didn't drive it particularly well, but my short game has been great. I feel like I've gotten up and down from like the waist areas quite a few times, and yeah, that's kept me in it for sure.
And then a question I had for Xander that I would put your way too, as a professional golfer.
Yeah.
How many times in a tournament would you say that you hit a shot that you've never practiced for?
A lot. Per tournament, I don't know, but there's always something that you like couldn't imagine that you'd be over there.
You had any this week?
I chunk hooked the driver off of 10 today and was at like 240 from the left sand over there. I wasn't planning on that one. But yeah, there's quite a few. I think I said to my caddy today, I said to Chad, I think I've hit every shot I know how to hit today. I've hit them high and low and left to right and right to left. But that's kind of what you have to do when there's that much wind.
I thought I played pretty well. I just kind of made, errors on myself, and it wasn't really the conditions. It was kind of just me, hitting some bad putts, and it happens, but we were able to kind of just rewrite the ship and kind of turn the round around, kind of after, I think 12, I started slowly figuring some things out, and by the time we got to 13, 14, the game felt really good, and, hit the shots I needed to, and, conditions are this tough.
Was it, to your point about the conditions, was it swing, or was it just how difficult the conditions were and having to take what it gave you?
A little bit of both. It was kind of, some of these holes are playing so much longer than what I remember last year. Last year it was dry and it was, rolling out, and 16, I'm hitting 6 irons in, and last year I think I hit like a sand wedge in. So it's just kind of seeing the course for what it is, and there are still some short holes out here that you can take advantage of. When you see 14, 15, even the par 5s, they're all kind of fairly on the short side, even with all the wind, that you just have to make birdies when they're given, when they're out there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you've been asked about this, but is this the honeymoon this week?
No, we have a honeymoon planned after this. So it's like a prelude to the honeymoon.
Colin, you're playing some new irons. In conditions like this, is it hard to trust new equipment, or what? And you said you were working things out. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, TaylorMade did a great job. They're not too different than what I had in the 730s, the P730s before. I actually changed kind of the bounce and the width of the sole, and it's not something that looks different at address. It actually looks exactly the same, a little different finish. So looking at it, it could be the same iron. So there hasn't been a huge trust factor. It's just seeing certain shots that I knew we made these changes for, and actually seeing them improve. That's what's been exciting. So it actually hasn't, scared me at all to put in a new set, because I knew what we were doing exactly to the irons.
We'll get you set for round 3 in the Bahamas on Golf Channel, 10:45 a.m. Eastern with a pregame show. We'll see you then.